will grow in this or on it. So you don't have to worry about bacteria getting inside or outside. We do just ask you to screw it, take out the little venturi. There's a nice little pin that comes with this, and put that little pin in there, clean it out, rinse it with warm water, put it back together. All right, so all of that's done. You've had your clients have a skin sip, and with I should have blended some of this so you guys could taste it. It has a medicine-y taste. We've tried to take it out, but to take it fully out, we have to add fillers, preservatives, sugars, and da-da-da-da.
Right.
So we figured, you know what, bump that. This is a natural program. Let's just leave it like that. You know, as your grandma used to tell you, if it tastes bad, it's good for you.
Right.
You know, and you'll see with ingredients that we have in this, it's absolutely space age. There's nothing gonna touch it, nothing. But after your client drinks this, and she does her oxygen, and we have all the nutrients and oxygen inside the body for about 45 minutes, we begin now the extrinsic portion, which is what you guys are used to doing. It's extrinsic here. Okay, and this involves another whole different approach to skin. Sometimes, well, I shouldn't say sometimes, 90% of the times we deal with, as estheticians, we deal with the dead skin, okay? That's a good thing, but it's not good for the future. Dead skin is good skin, okay? But only the dead cells that are dead are not good. There are still viable cells that are still attached to the keratinous wall. So you have three kinds of cells. You have dead cells, viable cells, and cells that are in transition, okay? So what we have developed is a solution called expired exfoliation solution. This only deals with the dead skin cells and topical debris. That's all it does. Plus, it has a nutrient base so that once that whole layer begins to affect those cells, it starts to penetrate and saturate with liposomes and ceramides of nutrient package inside the skin. With a little tonicity, not a lot of toning. Some toning is not good. Some astringents are not good because we start messing with the barrier function and the pH of the skin. But we do have some tonicity in there where it just starts to get the cells a little tinged, but it stays within the barrier function levels of the skin. We'd like to have the makeup off and then have the skin wait for about 15 minutes, but that's okay. She didn't know that. We'll forgive you.
Thank you.
And it's just a little bit on. Nice and clear. And again, there's no chemicals, preservatives, fillers, or yada yada yada. There's none. So one of our solutions you have to shake pretty good before you use it.
Okay.
I'll show you what that one is. This goes on very smooth.
So all of this is just prior to using.
Yes, this is all preparatory. But, and that's a great question. Each preparatory phase has a level of nutrients to it that you're stacking into the skin. And I'll show you that in a minute. It's called BMR, or increased basal metabolic rate. Okay. Some clients who are very, very sensitive will feel a nice little tingle in their skin as you apply this because it starts to penetrate almost immediately. I'm going to do this over the eyes.
Do you feel anything, Mia?
It's really cooling.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bless your heart.
How's it taste?
It's got a very earthy taste to it.
You didn't know what you were getting into. See, that's why I'm not an esthetician. I play one on TV. How the commercial goes. Okay. Now, since she had a little makeup, what I'm going to do is take a little more of my exfoliation solution, and I'm going to massage it in with my hands because I really want to get that nutrient phase in there. And forgive my technique. I mean, I'm not an esthetician. You guys, I've seen those European and American technicians, and their fingers are like butterflies. I know you're saying he's going backwards. He's not doing it right. face is so small and my hands are so big. Okay, got that in there nice and small. Good deal. Now we're going to feel comfortable with taking a lot of the residue off. Okay. Now, the reason why I made I call it a nature pack of nutrients, is that most solutions that exfoliate, when you wash it off, you still have some residue left on top of the skin, because those cells that are, again, viable and transitioning, they miss their dead brothers and sisters that are gone. So they began to hold on to the energy or the level of nutrients that were there, and it gets misplaced. So rather than do that, and you can see this, have you seen the skin tomograph from University of San Francisco School of Medicine? Dr. Maybach developed it, where you can actually exfoliate the skin, you look at it, and you see the cells sloughing off, and you see the end of the keratinocytes, the polar ends just kind of sticking up. Well, they're literally, to me, they're sticking up going, hey, there's nobody there anymore. So what we did was put a nutrient base that just absorbs that and makes it nice and soft, and they have all this nutrients left there now that wasn't there before. It's actually presenting more life. Okay. So even though this is an exfoliant, all these pads are cold, huh?
No, I was just like, it does taste kind of funny.
Oh no, oh, I'm sorry. But it's good for your snacks.
Well, yeah.
No chemicals.
Good.
I will mix some of that skin soap for you before we leave,
Okay.
so you guys can taste it. Okay, now we're going to slow down. This whole process with some cold towels. You're not hydrophobic?
No.
Claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic, yeah.
No, I'll be fine.
Okay. Okay, we just want to just a little bit here. Slow things down a little bit. Make sure. Now we use the naturalness of the skin as far as its own metabolism, heat and cold, heat and cold. We're going to transition from here, starting to warm things up in the skin just to increase the basal metabolic rate. When you start to increase the basal metabolic rate, you start to activate the cells, and they then begin to require more nutrients. And you want to make sure that those nutrients are exactly what they need, as opposed to you thinking they need more of this and more of that, which was my problem in the beginning when I developed the O2 system. I knew that I worked with burn patients for so many years that I knew that there was a certain level of nutrients, and oxygen being the main ingredient. But what I didn't know, which took me years to find out, was that even though those nutrients are beneficial, at what concentration, at what percentage, at what pH, at what, So rather than using a shotgun approach now, we use a specific design of pH balance, the actual amount and percentage of the nutrient that can be metabolized by the skin cell once it's there. Because cells don't have teeth, okay? They have a laminar cell membrane that if it is at a certain pH or a certain balance, it has a certain energy formation, which is very important. You're talking about body, soul, and spirit. The cells has a body, soul, and spirit. So if you have a certain energy, which is polar and non-polar energy, we talk about hydrophobic and hydrophilic nutrients, or waters, moisturizers and hydrators. That is the ability for the cell to open up and allow those nutrients to come in. So this whole, and you'll get that, when you get the literature and stuff. And if you have any questions, ask me. And there is no such thing as a stupid question. And if I say something that's over your head, let me know too. Because I talk to so many different audiences. There we go. Okay. Now what's happened now is we've removed only the dead skin cells.